tillers. The normal ones are a pain in my storage. The smaller ones usually don't have enough power, or do they? Troy-Bilt, sponsor of this video, sent me the TBC304. See if we can outwork that stigma. They asked for the test, you be the judge. Let's get to the unboxing. Installation practically came installed. Lift up the handles into place, tighten a few bolts, install the wheel assembly, add oil and gas, and here we go. Let's see what it's gonna take to get this thing started, shall we? Oh, that was pretty quick. Woo! Yeah! We're ready to go tilling, boys. Yeah! Let's talk about what Troy-Bilt is promising us about the TBC304. It's powered by a 30cc 4-cycle engine. So there's no mixing gas and oil, straight fuel in the tank, oil in the crankcase. The engine drives 6 forward rotating steel tines that can dig down up to 6 inches deep. The tilling width is actually adjustable from 6 to 12 inches. The tines mount on a single shaft and the outer ones can be removed when you need to work between tight rows or raised beds. It rides on 5-inch transport wheels attached to the manual 3-position bracket, giving you 3 height adjustments to set your tilling depth or transport height. Now, fuel capacity comes in at 15 ounces and the unit weighs roughly 38 pounds assembled. A variable throttle gives you control right on the handle, and the folding handlebars make it simple to store without eating up garage space. For starting, it uses Troy-Bilt's SpringAssist recoil system for easier pulls, and it carries a 2-year limited residential warranty covering defects in materials or workmanship. On paper, Troy-Bilt's promising a compact tiller that's easy to start, easy to store, and strong enough to refresh tired soil or mix compost into your beds. Let's see if it lives up to that. So I came down to this property. We've got a couple different case scenarios that I think are pretty useful. The obvious being the planter's boxes. We've got 5 of these that we can absolutely refresh, which is nice. They are chock full of weeds. So in this instance, where this is gonna have edible foods, usually don't recommend using a lot of chemical. So what we're gonna do is till this up, and then we're gonna let the homeowner come through, just kind of rake out as much as possible. Now, the other case scenario that I'm really excited about is focusing on sandboxes. There's a couple of reasons for this. Number one, we wanna fluff it up, but by fluffing it up just on a regular basis, let's just say once a month, we're gonna avoid weeds. We have a lot of weeds and we've got some grass that's kind of creeping through the cut. But one thing that I absolutely love about constantly aerating the soil with the tiller is we're gonna avoid wasps. And so not only is it gonna be nice and fluffy for kids to play in, but it's gonna be a lot safer for them as well. Gas in the tank, only thing left to do is to start the tilling. What I want you to pay attention to is look at the fluff that we have in here now. It feels so good. And that was seriously, I don't know, 3 minutes of work, maybe. And we've gotten through about 50 square feet. So not a ton. If you're not familiar with using a tiller or its benefits, tillers are designed to stir and loosen the top layers of the soil. The benefits are simple. They break up compaction, mix in organic matter, improve drainage, and help the soil breathe. That top layer is where most roots and microbes stay active. So keeping it loose actually matters. There are a few different reasons why you'd pull a tiller out during the season. One, simply prepping a garden. Loosening old soil, mixing in compost, fertilizer before planting. Another is renewing compacted spots or sandier areas, like side beds or pathways that get crusted over time. Keeps the surface open so water can soak in evenly. I'll also till between growing cycles to keep the soil workable and fresh. It helps disrupt weed germination and keeps them from getting established. This machine's built for about 6 inches of depth. You're not rebuilding deep compacted layers, but for most yard work, that top 6 inches is where the action is anyway. Like anything, moderation is key. Over-tilling can hurt the soil structure, so I just use it when the top layers start to tighten up. Bottom line, for garden beds, compost mixing, or light rehab, a compact tiller like this gets it done without the hassle of dragging out a full-size unit. So for me, I feel like this is a great little test on sand for a couple different reasons. Number one, the machine is not very big. So I wanted to test, see how nimble it was and how easy it kind of gets through things. Number two, I knew that there was going to be a couple of rocks in here. I wanted to see how well it would bounce off. Well, it did really well with this. Not only did we uproot it, not with a lot of energy because of the sand, but also no problems with the tillers on the machine. Kind of has what I feel like is a little bit of feedback, right? It hits something and just kind of bounces, whether that be by design or not, no clue. But it's been very handy. But ultimately, I feel like for the purpose of what I wanted it to do, it did a fantastic job. Sand looks good, feels nice and soft, and it probably hasn't been aerated for, I don't know, 7 years. Pretty compact. Moving on to area number 2. A little bit more difficult of an area, but this is kind of what the machine was made for. Planters boxes. And some of these are smaller than others, like this one in the front, and then we gradually get to be a little bit bigger on the side. Now you can see that this material here has a little bit more clay in it. This is what looks to appear to have been kind of topsoil that was not sifted. So let's give it a try and see where we get. 5 minutes. That's all I have to say, 5 minutes. Now, a lot of you guys out there are gonna say, oh, but if you were in my region, we have so much rock debris, it could never work. Well, check this out. Here's the thing. We're absolutely loaded with chunky rocks, just kind of everywhere. Some small, some medium, some large. But here we go. That excuse right out the window for sure. Ultimately, it's a handy little unit. 5 minutes of work, good to go. A lot of you guys may or may not be convinced. Now, here's the thing I need you to understand. I'm not a sales guy. I'm just here to show you exactly how it works. But I still think that there's a little bit more room to grow in categories. We've already been through the soft stuff. We've been through the medium density. Let's just find some hard compact clay, see what it could do. Let's play a game, shall we? Let's make a garden. It's about the hardest material that I could find. It's not the softest. It's kind of rocks everywhere. Let's try it out. Well, there's reality. This is a decent job. This is not easy terrain. We've got some clay, ton of rocks, just everything that you can imagine in here. And it's still doing a fantastic job aerating the soil. Just getting through there, getting through all the garbage. And here's the thing, material is not an easy material, just riddled with rocks. Let's get into my favorite part of the video, which is going over the pros and the cons. As a disclaimer, these are my personal opinions and mine only about the performance of the machine. As far as build quality goes, it feels sturdy, it's easy to maneuver, and I was a little concerned about the machine just being too light. Now, I know that might sound a little bit odd, but I've used machines in the past that didn't have enough weight. They just wouldn't bite into the dirt the way that they should. Now with this one, it just wasn't the case. Now, as for power, the 30cc engine, it works as you saw. It handled sand, the garden boxes, and even that hard rock-ridden soil section without bogging down. The balance feels good. It's light enough that you can control it, but focused weight on the tines, which bite well into the dirt. Now, one small detail that I really liked is this handle that's built into the front of the machine. Now, I know it's a small thing, but when you're carrying it around the yard, you notice it. Now, this does have the variable speed throttle. Now, I thought that I'd use it more than I did. I tend to hold both hands very firmly on the handles, so it ran wide open most of the time, but it does work. Now, as far as how well it aerates and digs, it's better than I anticipated for its class. No issues with small, medium, or even larger rocks, and it dug right down to the 6-inch depth that it's rated for. The width adjustable tines are great, especially on a property like mine with narrow flower bed areas. Now, as far as how many square feet I was able to till on a single tank, I was a little bit heavy on the throttle, and I was averaging 1,500 square feet. So if you're using the variable throttle for how it's supposed to be used, you're probably going to average more than that. The full-size tillers, they're nice. They go deeper, they go wider, they've got more power, more bells and whistles, but storage is the trade-off, and that's a big one for a guy like me. Full-size tillers, they're just bulky, and that's the primary reason why I'll never own one. This one folds down, doesn't take over the garage, and I can still get into tight areas around the property the bigger machines can't reach. So what are you really missing out on by not going full size and being limited to 6 inches of depth? Well, it's that deeper mix. You're not rebuilding compacted layers or turning over brand new soil, but for most yard work, beds, compost, seasonal rehabs, that top 6 inches is where the action is anyway. In the end, I feel like the TBC304 works as it's marketed. Nothing more, nothing less. It's a compact machine built for beds, compost work, and seasonal rehab. If you're interested in the TBC304, I've posted a link of the product in the description of the video. And in the meantime, guys, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, hit me up down in the comments down below. You know I love to help you guys out. You've seen the test. You be the judge. This is the Pest and Lawn. We're slaying lawns.